Hey guys, welcome to Fierce Factor Fitness. We got a special guest with us today, it's Vicky from True to Form. Now today we are going to cover an important topic. Some of you guys have actually asked this of me, what to look for in the nutrition label in the back. So let's start off with the very first one. Before we get into it, there is going to be a new nutrition label coming out. It's going to come out within the next 90 days. It's in the review period right now. And the nutrition label hasn't been changed for the last 20 years, so it's really important that you guys acquaint yourself with this new nutrition label and how it's going to work. Okay, and then after that, we're gonna have 2 years for manufacturers to apply it. So definitely, you're gonna start seeing the changes pretty soon. So the very first thing in a new nutrition label is going to be serving size. Vicky, why don't you go start off with that one?
So right now, serving sizes were based on standards set in the 70s and 80s, and they really aren't realistic. So we're just going to take ice cream as an example, because everybody likes ice cream. But like the typical serving size is half a cup. So who eats just half a cup of ice cream?
Right.
So when you're seeing that it's like 300 calories and 10 grams of fat, for example, that's just for half a cup. So if you think you're eating a cup to 2 cups of ice cream, you're doubling, all those numbers. So that'll be nice, more realistic. So.
Yeah, right. And I know when I have ice cream, I take the whole thing and I eat out of it. That's just me though. The second thing is going to be the calorie count. Now, the font they're going to use is going to be bigger
and bolder.
And bold. Watch out for that calorie count.
And remember, that's calories per serving.
All right, so going down the label, the next one is fats. There's 2 kinds of fats they have on the labels. One is saturated fats and one is trans fats. Why don't you let us know what that's all about?
So just to back up, for your total dietary daily intake, no more than 30% of your calories should come from fat. And of that 30%, you don't want any more than 10% to be trans fats. And really, you want to try to avoid trans fats as much as you can, but especially partially hydrogenated oils. Yeah, look on the label. If it contains that, just don't bother eating it. By law, manufacturers do not have to say trans fats are in the product if it contains less than 0.5 grams. So just because it doesn't say there's trans fats doesn't mean it's not in there. Look on your label, partially hydrogenated oils.
Next on the list is cholesterol. Now, what's cholesterol? How much should we take in?
So cholesterol, first of all, it comes from animal products only. So if you're eating fruits and vegetables and the label says cholesterol free, that's kind of a no-brainer because it's not an animal product. So, and of your cholesterol requirements, they really recommend less than 300 milligrams a day. And if you have known risk factors like heart disease, you really should keep it to less than 200 milligrams a day, cholesterol.
Perfect. All right, so going down the list, we've got sodium. Now, we all love our salt. Salts are yummy. But why should we avoid it? How much do we take in? What do we look for?
Well, you want to avoid sodium added to your food, and the requirements for sodium, 2,300 milligrams a day. And if you have known risk factors, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney stones, things like that, you really should keep it to below 1,500 milligrams a day. So just don't add salt to your food.
Perfect. And what does it do to your body?
Well, it can raise your blood pressure, dehydration, among other things.
Avoid salt. All right, we're going to jump to the next 2 on our list, which is carbs and dietary fiber. Okay. Now, what kind of carbs, what kind of fiber should we be taking?
So you want fruits, vegetables, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, those kind of things. That's good carbs. With fiber, you want to look at the label and see if it says whole grain, whole wheat. Those are the things that indicate that it is a whole grain. Saying multigrain doesn't necessarily mean that it's a whole grain. A lot of times that there will be caramel color added and it'll look whole grain, but not necessarily so. So how do you know? You look at the fiber content to see if there's at least 3 grams of fiber. If there's at least 3 grams of fiber per serving, then it's probably a whole grain.
Gotcha. So fruits row is okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
100% whole grain, and at the very minimum, over 3% of the fiber.
3 grams of fiber.
3 grams.
More than 3 grams of fiber.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The biggest change, I think is probably the biggest one, is the sugar section of the new nutrition label. There's going to be naturally occurring sugars and added sugars. Bad. Actually, I read something in there that I did a lot of reading the other night and said, sugar is the new fat.
Yeah.
How long have we been saying that?
Yep, right.
Right? So the more sugar you have, of course your body's going to store it into fat, whatever you don't use. So if you don't have as an active lifestyle, you're going to start storing that a lot more. If you want to lose weight, you want to take in as little sugar as possible, right?
Absolutely.
Now, there's recommendations of how much sugar you should take. What are your recommendations?
Well, like we were talking about, naturally occurring sugars, like what occurs in fruits, good for you. But then you get into the added sugars or processed sugars, that's what you want to avoid. And that's the nice thing about the new label. It's going to show you the amount of sugar that's not naturally occurring. So there's things like maltodextrin, that's really common on labels, you'll see. That has like a glycemic index almost twice that of just like table sugar. So, and that's a processed sugar. It's made from corn or rice. So if you're gluten sensitive or celiac, that could really wreak havoc on your system. So those are things you want to watch out for when you read the label.
Perfect. And some of you guys that like to drink like orange juice or apple juice, this is going to surprise you and shock you how much added sugar they actually put in there. That's why drinking some of those fruit juices can actually be an over intake of sugar for you guys. So look out for that. Okay?
Better to eat an orange than drink a glass of orange juice.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that covers it for the whole new nutrition label. Remember, keep an eye on it. We've got within the next 90 days and then plus 2 more years for them to kind of apply it into all the nutrition labels. Don't forget to look at the labels, look what you're looking for. If you have to go back, take some notes on what Vicky mentioned. I know there's some big words in there. Definitely take note of that. Probably can't say it right off the bat. You should be really careful, all right? Alright, so we want to thank Vicky for joining us today. Don't forget to visit her channel. I'm going to put a link below for you guys. She just started her YouTube channel. And then also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video if you guys like it and found it helpful. Alright, if you have any comments, make sure you leave it there. Thanks. Later, guys. You can't laugh. If you laugh, I laugh.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.